Hi all. This is the first problem on mesh analysis. So here we are asked to find out the current through the 4 ohm and 12 ohm resistance. And all the resistance values which is given in the question is in ohms. So whenever you are given a question like this, the first and foremost thing is name the corresponding points so that we are able to write down the corresponding meshes. Second thing is assigning the mesh currents and its direction. So first we will mark the points. So we have marked the points. Now we need to identify the meshes. So remember in the last lecture we have defined what is a mesh and a loop, and here we have to find out the mesh. So the mesh doesn't have any loop inside that, or you can say that we cannot find any other closed path inside the mesh. So in this particular problem there are three meshes are there. The first mesh is A, B, E, F, A. Second mesh is B, C, D, E, B. And third mesh is F, E, D, H, G, F. So we have three meshes. Now the next thing is assign the mesh currents. So the first mesh we are assigning it as I1. Second mesh as current as I2, and the third mesh current as I3. Next important thing is assigning the direction of the mesh currents. So in the earlier lecture we have discussed that we will go ahead with the clockwise direction of current in all the meshes if the direction is not given in the question. So the three mesh currents are defined. Now we are going to write the KVL for mesh 1. So from A to B, from the point A to B, I am moving in the same direction of the assumed direction of the current. So it is a drop in potential, and therefore it is minus 2. There is only one current which is flowing through the 2 ohm resistance, that is I1. Then when I am in mesh 1, I am assuming that the mesh 1 current is the largest among all other mesh currents. So through the 12 ohm resistance there are two components of current which are flowing. One is I1 in the downward direction and the I2 in the upward direction. Since I am assuming that the current I1 is largest when I am writing the mesh equation for mesh 1, therefore along the path of 12 ohm resistance it is a drop in potential, and therefore it will be minus 12 into effective current is I1 minus I2. Then reaching from point E to point F, the 1 ohm resistance is shared between the two currents I1 and I3. So there it is again a drop in potential, since I am assuming that I1 minus I3 is greater than 0, since I1 is greater than I3, because I am writing for the mesh 1 equation. So minus 1 into I1 minus I3. Then from point F to point A, it is a rise in potential, so it is plus 12 equal to 0. That is for the first mesh. Then we are writing it for the second mesh BCDEB. We are writing the KVL equation. So from point B to point C, there is only one current, that is nothing but I2, which is flowing. So it is minus 2 into I2. Then from point C to point D, positive terminal to the negative terminal, so it is a drop in potential, so minus 10. Then from point D to point E, the two currents are shared by 3 ohm resistor is I2 and I3. So I will write it as minus of 3 into I2 minus I3. Then for the 12 ohm resistance, I am moving from point E to point B. So I am assuming that the current I2 is largest when compared to other mesh currents when I am writing the mesh equation for mesh 2. So the effective current is I2 minus I1 in the upward direction. So it is in the same direction of in which I am moving. So it is again a drop in potential. So it is minus 12 into I2 minus I1 equal to 0. Now we have the last mesh. We are going to write the KVL equation. So from point F to point E, it is a 1 ohm resistance. The two currents are I3 and I1. So it is minus 1 into I3 minus I1. Then from point E to point D, 3 ohm resistance has two components of current. One is I3 and the other one is I2 in the opposite directions. So it is minus 3 into I3 minus I2. Then from point H to this particular point, the 4 ohm resistance is there. So I'm moving the same direction of the assumed current direction. So it is minus 4 into I3. Then the voltage we have, I am moving from negative potential to the positive potential. So it is plus 24 equal to 0. So I have three equations, 1, 2 and 3. Now we will write it in the proper sequence and then we will solve for the currents. A small correction is there. So here actually the bracket is here. Now we have written all the three equations in the corresponding format, that is equation number 1 over here, equation number 2 over here and equation number 3 over here. Now we will write all the three equations together. So now we have all the three equations put together. So there are three equations and three unknowns. We can solve for the currents I1, I2 and I3. And in your syllabus, you are asked to find out the solution using the matrix representation. So now we will do how the matrix representation, and using the Cramer's rule, we will see how we can solve that. In the earlier lecture, I have given one hint in order to do one of the problems using the Cramer's rule for a 2 by 2 matrix level. So remember that also while solving this problem. So now we will represent the equations in a matrix form. So it is 15 minus 12 minus 1, 12 minus 17, 3, 1, 3 minus 8, I1, I2, I3 equal to 12, 10 minus 24. So we can solve using the Cramer's rule. We can find out I1 is nothing but delta 1 by delta, where deltas are nothing but the determinants. So delta is nothing but determinant of if I'm naming this matrix as A, matrix A's determinant is nothing but delta. 15 minus 12 minus 1, 12 minus 17, 3, 1, 3, minus 8. So you will getting the determinant as 6, 6, 4. Now delta 1 is nothing but determinant of the matrix by replacing the first column of the matrix A by this particular matrix B. So 15, 12 and 1 are being replaced by 12, 10 and minus 24. The rest of the columns will be the same: minus 12, minus 1, minus 17, 3, 3 and minus 8. You will get delta 1 as 1806. So therefore the current I1 is nothing but delta 1, that is the determinant of this particular matrix, which is 1806 divided by 664. You will get the answer as 2.71 ampere. So in a similar way, you can calculate delta 2, delta 3 and then find the values of I2 and I3. So this is how delta 2 replacing the second column, and delta 3 is by replacing the third column in the matrix A by the elements of matrix B. So you will be getting delta 2 as 1366 and delta 3 as 2730. So therefore I2 is nothing but delta 2 by delta, which you will get the answer as 2.05 amperes, and I3 is nothing but delta 3 by delta, that is 2730 divided by 664. You will get the answer as 4.11 amperes. So now we have seen how we can solve three equations using the matrix method for the mesh analysis problem. So whenever you are getting a question like this using matrix representation, always write the corresponding matrix and then find the value of current. Now here our question is, you are asked to find out the current through the 4 ohm and the 12 ohm resistor. So therefore the 4 ohm resistor is nothing but the resistor over here. So the current through the 4 ohm resistor is nothing but the current I3, and the value of the current I3 is so I 4 ohm is nothing but I3 itself. So it is 4.11 ampere. Next you are asked to find out the current through the 12 ohm resistor, and the 12 ohm resistor current, there are two components are there. One is the current I1 and the other one is the current I2. So therefore the effective current through the 12 ohm resistor is I1 minus I2. So I 12 ohm is nothing but I1 minus I2, that is nothing but 2.71 minus 2.05. So that is nothing but 0.66 amperes. So effective the current will flow only from the point B to point D. If you have taken I2 minus I1, then this value of current will be minus 0.66. So you can say that the